In today's video, we're going to be looking at what the overall patent process looks like in the United States. For those of you who don't know, my name is Wes Austin. I'm a patent lawyer. I've been a patent lawyer for 20 years, and I do short videos about intellectual property topics, legal news. Oh, and I'm also a stand-up comedian, so hopefully once in a while you laugh. Make sure you stick around until the end of the video, where I will talk about some rough time frames for some of these steps and also some cost estimates. So, this is one of the most common questions I get is, what does the overall patent process look like in the United States? Now for this, I am assuming that we're talking about a utility patent application, and this is really like a 50,000 foot level view. So this is not legal advice. The facts make a huge difference, so please hire a lawyer if you have a specific question, but hopefully this will at least give you a good feel for what the overall process looks like. All right, step one, document your invention. Okay, write it down. You're going to want to have some written words describing it along with some drawings or pictures showing what it is. Whether you're going to use a patent lawyer or patent agent or however you're going to do it, you're going to need to have a document describing what your invention is. I'm also going to assume that you're going to keep this confidential until you get something filed. The second step in this process is a patent search, sometimes called a novelty search or a patentability search. This is where you or someone that you hire tries to find the closest inventions and products, services out there to what you've invented to see if what you've invented is really new. This is an optional step. You don't have to do it, but it usually is a good idea if you aren't really sure whether your invention is new or not, because you're going to be spending a lot of money on this patent application. And if somebody's already invented it or invented something really close to it, you're going to want to not spend all this money just to find that out later. If you have a question about this or anything else in the video, please put your question down in the comments and I'll try to respond. The last thing that you'll do as part of the patent search step is decide if you're going to actually proceed with the patent application. If you found somebody else has invented something that's too close to yours, you can decide not to proceed. The next step is to actually prepare and file the patent application, also referred to as patent drafting. And most likely you'll be working with a patent lawyer or a patent agent as you get this ready. You prepare a written description of your invention as well as drawings to help adequately describe what your invention is. When you're all done, that is filed in the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Foreign filing. Now this is a decision that should be made early on, where you decide, do you want to file in any countries outside of the United States? This is optional, you don't need to, but it is something that you want to decide early on so that if you do want to file in any foreign countries, you can work with your patent lawyer to make sure that the steps are taken to do that. The next step is examination by the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and sometimes this is referred to as patent prosecution. This is where the patent office examines your patent application and they tell you whatever problems they see with it. A patent examiner will look at your invention, your patent application, and the examiner will perform their own search, try to find the closest things out there to whatever you've invented. And if they find something close, they will send you a rejection. The document that they send you is an office action where they send you a rejection. In almost all cases, you're going to get a rejection from the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Okay, so just calm down. This is very normal. This is a negotiation process, okay? So they will tell you, well, I don't think you deserve a patent on this for these reasons. And then you work with your agent or lawyer in coming up with arguments and possibly amendments to your patent application where you can argue back. And it goes back and forth for some period of time. And then hopefully in the end, you'll end up with a patent. So if you are able to get the patent examiner to agree to give you a patent, the next step is that you get a patent granted, also called issuance. Now, in the United States, a utility patent lasts 20 years from the earliest filing date. Okay? So after your patent is granted, you would think that you are done, right? Wrong. The next step is that you need to pay your maintenance fees. If you have a utility patent in the United States, there are maintenance fees. Now, you might be wondering, hey, what is the U.S. Patent Office doing at that point that I should be paying the maintenance fees? Nothing. They're not doing anything, but you have to pay the maintenance fees anyway to keep your patent in force. Like this video if you think that sounds stupid, because I agree with you. So as promised, I'm going to give you some time frames and cost estimates for some of these steps, okay, just based on my past experience. These are just estimates. They're not going to be exact. So for the patent search step, usually this takes somewhere in between like a week to maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So it's in like the few week time frame, and the cost for those, I've seen some searches anywhere from the hundreds of dollars up to the thousands of dollars. And you usually are getting what you pay for. Usually the more you spend, the more they do on their searching. So for the step of prepare and filing a patent application, usually this step takes somewhere in the several weeks to a few months time frame, depending on how busy the inventors are, how busy your attorney is, because usually you prepare a draft and then they send it back for comments and then you revise it. And so usually by the time you get this prepared and filed, it's usually a number of weeks, and it can even be a few months depending on how busy people are. Typically the cost to get something filed, prepared and filed, is roughly, I've seen anywhere from like $6,000 or $7,000 on the low end up to maybe $15,000 on the high end. So it varies quite a bit depending on how complex the invention is. So the step of patent prosecution, the examination step taking place at the patent office, usually this will take somewhere between 1 and 3 years, just on average. And the cost, it can vary widely. Anywhere from like $5,000 on the low end up to $20,000 or $25,000 on the high end. You're working with your patent attorney or agent, arguing back and forth with the patent office. So depending on how close the other inventions are and how tenacious the patent examiner is, that cost can vary a lot. And that last step of maintenance fees that we all love. So you have maintenance fees due for the utility patent application 3.5 years after it issues, 7.5 years after it issues, and 11.5 years after it issues. So for like 12 years, you're paying these maintenance fees. And I'm just, for like a small business, what's called a small entity in the patent office, the maintenance fees go up. So like the first maintenance fee is $800. Then it goes up to $1,800 for that second one. And then it goes up to $3,700 for the third one. Again, that's for a small entity, a small business in the patent office. And that's just based on what the fees currently are. Hey, if you've thought that this has been helpful, please subscribe and hit the notifications button. All right, thanks for watching. Tune in next week for my next video. One step you should address, no, fudge. Okay, can we use that to sync? Probably not. Hey.